distinction there, not part of ESPN Plus. So, 7 o'clock, and I'll turn it over to Coach.
Obviously looking forward to getting back on the court to compete again tomorrow night against a team that can score the ball. They have two really, really offensive, efficient players, especially Taylor, number 21, ninth in the NCAA in points per game and 10th in the NCAA in offensive rebounds. And both Taylor and Adams are both players that seem to draw fouls and get extra points on the foul line as well. So obviously defending Taylor is going to be a really important part defensively for our basketball team and keeping him off the glass, and then our post defense as well.
Yeah, Eric, what's the update on Mason?
Yeah, so Mason, we got together this morning between his classes. He's going to try to practice today. Probably not do any contact stuff. Right now, it's not bothering him shooting. It's bothering him defensively a little bit when he puts his arms certain ways. So the good thing is, if he plays, we need his shooting more than we need his defense. So I think it'll be a game time decision. But he's gonna go through non-contact stuff today.
Do you know what the injury is exactly? Have you guys, I don't know, MRI'd it or?
What is it?
AC sprain?
Yeah. Okay. I just know it's his shoulder.
And if he can't go, obviously Scylla, you didn't play him much. He struggled. Do you know what you'd do as far as starting if Mason couldn't go?
Yeah, I'm still trying. If he doesn't play, I'm still trying to figure that out, whether we'll play Scylla there again or whether we'll go with Reggie. Those would be the two players that we'll have to probably announce right before tip-off.
As far as Scylla, just kind of looks like he's been struggling a little bit. Just kind of where do you see him right now and what he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we hope he regains his confidence. I think right now he's just going through, a confidence, issue. And certainly with any player, you hope that they come out of, if they're in a little bit of a slump or whatever you want to call it. Having said that, we've had two really close games back to back, and so there's really no margin for error. And then I thought, and I mentioned it post game the other night, I really thought off the bench that Reggie and Jaylen Harris changed the complexion of the game, and then going back and watching the film over, those two guys changed the speed of the game. We became a running team. The pace picked up. So we'll see how, hopefully JC plays better.
Last year when Chaney did start, he always seemed to get in foul trouble. Is that a concern at all, just his tendency to foul?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked to him a lot about it. We've showed him all of his fouls. It's interesting because sometimes when we switch, he does as good a job as anyone on our roster keeping point guards in front of him. He's an A+ right now on our pick and roll switches and staying low and staying down. And a lot of teams have tried to go at him, and he's done a great job of altering shots or blocking shots when he's been on the switch. But sometimes on bigger guys, for whatever reason, he's wrestling with them a little bit, and that's where he's picked up a lot of his fouls. So we've shown him all of his fouls throughout the course of this year. And just continue to talk to him about trying to let the refs see his hands and try to body up, hands up a little bit more. Some of the terminology we're trying to use with him from a defensive standpoint to stay out of foul trouble.
Jaylen and Jimmy, I think, shared the floor quite a bit the other night. What do you like about your offense when those guys are in the line?
I think that, just the way that basketball is evolving at the NBA level, at the collegiate level with teams playing 2 point guards, it obviously gives you multiple ball handlers on the floor, and so you can run your offense through two different guys. And, if we're not shooting, great from the perimeter, then those two guys give us great defense. And just having an extra ball handler alleviates when anybody wants to try to pressure you as well.
Coach, how do you feel about the shot selection in the past few games? I know you said you want to score more points from outside. How have you felt about that? And then do you feel like the team is passing enough? I know you have like thresholds you want to reach. Have they been hitting those, and does it vary from game to game?
Yeah, actually, what we found in the past is playing against zones. Sometimes you don't pass the ball as much. You actually the time of the possession that you hold the ball becomes a little bit longer. Against zones, you fake passes and you don't put it on the deck as much. And but for whatever reason, with our team, our passing kind of goes up against zones, which is a good thing. So we haven't really been concerned much. I think this pace of the game slows down a little bit, Nikki. So maybe the pace is a little bit different, but the passing, numbers-wise, has been pretty good. Not great, but not bad or not anything that we're overly concerned with. And then the shot selection is just, when you're not making a high volume of threes, it's just how, what's the factor? Is it we need to run better sets? Is it that we're taking too quick of shots? Is the pass on target? Are you shot ready as a player? Are the shots too deep? So all those things are things that we just continually talk to our guys about, and we got to try to search as a staff to try to come up with answers as well.
How big has Jimmy's ability to take care of the basketball been for you guys the last several games, and how critical is that to keep that going moving forward?
Yeah, phenomenal. I would say as we went through the whole summer months, and then we went through, our throwback game and the 2 exhibition games, like we were really, really concerned with our turnover numbers. Like it was hard for me to sleep some nights thinking about us trying to get a shot on goal and not having live ball turnovers. And I think our team has really gained a lot of ground in taking care of the ball, and it's been a theme that we've talked about since day one, of us being together is how you've got to value the basketball, how in late game situations getting a shot on goal is so important. And I think that they continue to grow and evolve, and obviously Jimmy's a big part of us having a lower number of turnovers, and it's still going to creep up on us sometimes, but I think when you look at the scope of our short sample size of a season so far, we've done a much better job maybe than what I had anticipated of taking care of the basketball.
During the interview process with Hunter, can you enlighten us a little bit? What's he like? Get you at ease?
Does this have to do with basketball or something else?
What's he like as an interviewer and as a guy you met with and discussed this job with?
With my experience, it was I loved interviewing with him. It was interesting because when I got the phone call, we had talked about where to meet and everything, and obviously you want to keep it private and so forth, and I don't know if it was Hunter or John, but I kind of threw out, well, if you're going to come to Reno, you want to just meet in my house. And I don't think that they had ever done that, and I certainly hadn't done it. And I've had a lot of interviews over the course, but they ask a lot of really good questions, philosophically, a lot of stuff about student athletes. And, obviously, about recruiting was a big part of it as well, and understanding Arkansas's culture and understanding what Hunter's vision is for the entire athletic program. Understanding the passion of the Arkansas fan base. And, I mean, my process with him was incredible. That's why the more we talked, the more we got excited as a family. I thought he was really, really upfront about everything. I knew he was interviewing other people and talking to other people, but his communication skills were off the charts. So that's my experience.
Yeah, kind of on the other side of the turnover thing. Your guys have been getting in passing lanes.
Was this a basketball question now?
Yeah, it's a basketball question now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, your guys have been getting in the passing lanes a lot. Is that just effort, or is that something that you guys kind of talk about before the game?
Yeah, no, we wanted to try to be a team that creates offense through our defense for sure. I think that we're going to have to the entire year. We're going to have to find a way to to get some easy baskets in the flow of the game, and certainly when you can get out and get live ball turnovers, your percentage with any team in the country, when you have a live ball turnover, your percentage of scoring it at the other end goes up pretty significant rather than playing against half-court defense. And we have some guys that really do a great job of jumping in passing lanes and trying to get deflections and things like that. And so we want to keep that as one of our staples or one of our identities from a defensive standpoint for sure.
Matt Figger had coached with Frank Martin at South Carolina and K-State, and they always had real physical teams. Is this kind of a pretty hard-nosed physical team?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're well coached, and like I said, when you look at a team that's 17th in the NCAA in offensive rebounds, I think that if you're an offensive rebounding team, you're probably a pretty physical, rebounding team, and they have a high free throw rate. They're 16th in the country in free throw rates, and they score the ball. I mean, this is 26th best scoring team in the country, so our transition defense has to be good, and they shoot high percentage shots, and they get their 2 stars, get a bulk of the shot attempts for them. They'll probably play a little of both.
Eric, I think you said humongous concern the other day about the three-point shooting. In the summer, I think when we talked, you felt like you guys would be a pretty good three-point shooting team as long as the right guys were taken. Looks like Isaiah's getting a lot of good looks, and they're not going down. Desi's obviously struggling. Mason didn't quite. Maybe, Scylla shot pretty decent last year. What do you think's going on? Is there any common thing you're seeing, or how important is it that you guys start hitting these threes?
I mean, I don't think there's any doubt, Bob, that for us to, every game is defensively we got to play at a high level right now. As far as shooting the ball, we feel like we're getting pretty good looks. Even in that Georgia Tech game, we had some wide open looks down the stretch. And so it's like Desi, we've showed him all of his makes. We've showed him all of his misses. Felt like he was kind of floating and not leaving in the same spot that he took off from on his jump shot. That's one of the things we've talked to him about. But his arch on the ball is really good. His backspin and rotation on the shot's really good. Obviously, when Isaiah shoots, you think it's going in every time. If we start clicking from 3, I think we'll be that much harder. If we keep clanking them, we got to be really good defensively.
Do you feel good? You guys will get a turnaround? Maybe you're just kind of going through a rough start here. Because the first game you hit 40%.
Obviously, when you look at the body of work that that both Isaiah and Desi shot the ball last year, especially Desi late in the year, you think it's going to turn around. with both of them, because they're both really good shooters and they both work on their craft. Mason's doing a good job from 3 right now. J5's hit enough to keep the defense honest. Adrio's made a couple where he, so I think that, and if you look, even last year, both those guys had some games where they really got hot and some games, maybe where the shot wasn't falling. And I've stated over and over, like with Isaiah, his defense, his rebounding, his passing, all those things have been great when shots haven't been falling. And with Desi, I think he's done an incredible job of not just continuing to settle for 3, although he took 6 last game. He did dribble drive and kind of change the complexion of getting to the basket, and I mentioned his ability against Georgia Tech to go against a really good shot blocker on the road and to finish at the rim. So I think if shots aren't falling, just how do you contribute, in other ways, and I think both those guys have done that.
You want Desi to keep shooting, right?
Yeah, at some point, we're going to, they got to, the lid's got to come off sooner or later.
And then, kind of weird, Arkansas played Austin Peay last year, 2nd year in a row. Did you watch last year's game film? Because there's a lot of roster turnover, but some of the same guys. I just wonder if you watched the film, and if so, what your takeaway was.
Yeah, we watched basically all the minutes from last year. I think it's important that you have a feel kind of for, your own roster and how they defend and stuff, and then also theirs. But I think that they're, there's too many differences with personnel and there's too many differences with schemes and stuff that you can kind of throw it out, out the window. I don't think when you look at two teams a year apart, players grow, coaches change, tweak things. So, how they're going to defend us is not going to be how they defended us last year.
Jaylen played 35 minutes the other night. What'd you like about him and the lift that he kind of brought off the bench?
Just the pace of the play. We got some easy baskets when he came in. I thought he pressured the ball really well. He's obviously a pass-first guy. Defense and his ability to change the speed of the game. I thought he got us out in transition, and it helped us get some easy baskets when we were certainly struggling from an offensive standpoint.
Bob, quick one before we get the microphone back there.
Okay. I know you're busy coaching your team, but you take your recruits to football games. I remember Nick Saban, he was interested in who the Alabama basketball coach is because he takes his football recruits to basketball games. From a basketball standpoint, how important is it that you guys have a good football team and exciting events you can take your recruits to? And how closely do you follow the football coaching search? Do you have any inside info? Not that you tell us, but do you have any inside info?
Man, Bob. No, I think that, like we brought recruits to baseball games. It's an awesome environment. Obviously, all of our athletic teams on campus, like the more success that we have as a department, I think it obviously helps with recruits for sure. And I think it's always important for coaches on camp. I want to learn from other coaches on campus. I've gone to dinner with a lot of the coaches on campus and to be able to share ideas and there's correlation with track and basketball. It might not be the X and O's, but it might just be philosophically how you recruit or how you motivate players or people, so to speak. Coach Neighbors and I talk all the time, and so I think that I'm anxious just like all the fans are on the decision that Hunter's going to make, and I think that as everybody in the department looks forward to who the next hire is and then becoming partners and family members together.
With Jamario, did you guys practice yesterday? Was yesterday a day off? And if you have practiced, how has he looked? If not, what do you hope to see from him out of the practice?
Yeah, Jamar, we did not practice yesterday. He looks good shooting the ball. He looks like maybe he's our most physical player. Strong, looks good on video clips. Having said that, it's really hard for a player to, we're 7 games in and he's still, as of this moment, in 15 minutes it'll change, but as of this moment, he doesn't have any idea what we're doing offensively or defensively, and so you're talking about somebody being basically 7 months behind. But he's athletic, he's strong, his shot looks good, he looks like he could be a threat from 15 to 18 feet. And certainly, as I've stated a lot in a short time frame, I think he's going to help with our enthusiasm, our energy, and make practices better. And then we'll just kind of see how quickly he picks things up. Thanks.